The morning light filtered weakly through the mangled cityscape of Borderland, as Usagi and her small band of survivors realized how dire their situation had become. The air in the train cars had begun to turn toxic. The oxygen canister they had used carelessly in the earlier compartments left them vulnerable to poisoning in the next ones. Time was slipping like sand through their fingers. Part 1. The Runaway Train. Between them and safety lay a stretch of track, and before long another train began to roll in parallel. With panic mounting, Usagi realized that their only chance was to leap across the gap to the adjacent train. It was a desperate gamble. More than one person didn't make it. But Usagi, Ryuji, and a few others managed to survive the jump. As the two trains diverged, Usagi glimpsed Arisu on board the other, but in the blink of an eye, the trains separated, and Arisu's train soon derailed. The collision was brutal. Inside the twisted wreckage, Arisu's teammates found him gravely wounded. Tetsu, his hands trembling, attempted field surgery, stitching the wound as best he could, while the rest looked on, haunted by the possibility that their friend might slip away. Alice in Borderland, Part 2, Tokyo Bingo Tower. Meanwhile, Usagi, Ryuji, Sota, and Yuna slipped into the next trial, Tokyo Bingo Tower. Their objective: ascend the tower, hitting buttons in key positions so as to complete a line on a bingo board. But of course, the path was designed to terrify. Gusts, precarious ledges, sudden drops, cannons hurling projectiles, the entire climb was a D-trap. At one juncture, Usagi lost her footing and nearly plunged into nothingness. But Ryuji reached out, grabbing her just in time, saving her life with a single desperate grasp. That moment welded something between them: trust and dependence. Against the odds, and as players around them fell, Usagi managed to hit the final button in the center free square, clinching their bingo and clearing the game. Yet not everything was resolved. Banda, the shadowy orchestrator behind the Joker games, demanded Ryuji kill Usagi if he wanted to be granted access to the realm of death, to meet the real ruler of the Borderland. Ryuji's dark past, tangled with guilt over a student's death in his experiments, weighed heavily. He wavered. Can one betray someone they have become to care for in order to chase an obsession? Part 3. Kick the Can. Back with Arisu's team, the next game loomed. Kick the Can. It was a frantic relay where an exploding canister had to be escorted back to its origin before time ran out. But mishandling or delay meant death. Only 10 survivors could exist. As the game progressed, several participants were forced into impossible choices. Shion and Natsu perished first. Then, in a final heroic moment, Katsuya sacrificed himself so that Arisu, wounded and exhausted, would have a chance to survive and return the final can. At last, only Arisu, Rei, Tetsu, Sachiko, and Nobu remained. When they entered the next stage, they emerged into what looked like Shibuya Crossing, as it had been on the day of the meteor strike, bustling with people, normalcy a trap in itself. Epilogue: Cracks in Fate. In a fleeting, heart-shattering scene, as their trains passed, Arisu and Usagi saw each other across the divide. They reached out, but a steel pillar and Ryuji's pull intervened. Ryuji yanked Usagi back. Was it to save her arm, or to keep her from Arisu? Their eyes locked, the moment charged with anguish and unspoken regret. Though the games were temporarily cleared, nothing felt safe anymore. Loyalties were fractured, truths hidden, and the boundary between life and death blurred. With the next stage awaiting, everyone was left wondering who would betray, who would redeem, and who would survive.